Hey, it's JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban knife style and jungle survival. Today we'll be looking at two knives. Now, these are very popular bushcraft knives that came out in recent years, and it's the Morakniv Garberg and the Joker Ember. This is made in Sweden, this is made in Spain. I chose to do this comparison because there aren't many videos that compare these two directly, but they're of the same size and their design intent is also very similar for the intended audience. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, do check out my shop links in the pinned comment or description, and you can even join as a channel member. Thanks a lot. So this is the Morakniv Garberg. It comes in this polymer or plastic sheath. Now it's a really nice fit, and I think if you go out camping and keep a knife like that in your pack, this fits perfectly. But personally, I would like to belt carry this knife, so I made a custom Kydex sheath. This is made by Meran Knives in Malaysia, and beautiful job as usual. This is probably my second or third sheath from him, and it was designed just for the Garberg, so that fits very well. I've also got the extra attachment for the ferro rod. And this has a belt clip that goes onto my belt and works very well with that nice big thumb ramp as well. For the Ember, it comes with this nice leather sheath, especially if you do like this kind of a leather look. This would be perfect. It's a dangler system with a belt loop that you can just open up, and that can go around your belt, and it's a really secure fit as well. And you'll be interested to know that the Garberg also fits inside very nicely. So if you ever buy the Garberg but you want a leather sheath and you like this style, you could get a Joker sheath, available in brown and black. Let's first discuss who these knives were designed for. They're really designed for a specific market. People who want to go outdoors and want a knife to do a variety of tasks. Cutting, slicing, a bit of fine work, maybe even light chopping. So they want a full tang blade. They like this kind of a size, about a 4-inch blade. And like it or not, this is what is considered a modern bushcraft knife. Of course, take that for what you might. If you don't believe there's such a thing as a bushcraft knife, that's perfectly fine. But this is kind of the modern representation and what the market wants, and that is why it was created. And both are very similar. Both have just over 4 inches in length of blade. The handle, this is over molded plastic. This is in wood. It also comes in micarta and different woods, but it's pin handle, so you can't change the handle or the scales, same as this. This is 9 inches long overall length. This is just under 9 inches. So very similar in weight, size, and overall look. And that's why I thought it was worthy of comparison, because both also have sharp spines, so you can strike a ferro rod to start a fire. So as you can see, really designed for the bushcrafter in mind. That's a useful element of these extended pommels. You can use it to knock in something, maybe even like wooden tent stakes. You could kind of knock it in if you like. But one thing is, you could clip this between your knee or behind your knee if you need to strike a ferro rod with one hand. So imagine this is the back of your knee, you clip that and you can take a ferro rod and strike that with one hand. So there is kind of a use for these extended pommels. So those are the similarities. Let's talk about the differences. Well, first is blade thickness. This is 3.2 millimeters. This is 3.5 millimeters. It's slightly thicker for the Ember. Both have Scandi grinds. Some people think that if you have a Scandi grind, your blade stock should not be more than 3 millimeters, because you need a certain thickness in order to get maximum advantage for the Scandi grind to do fine work. Well, again, this knife was designed for people who want a thicker blade, so it's really designed for that, and who also think that a Scandi grind with this thickness of blade can do the job. If you really want a thinner blade stock with a Scandi grind, well, consider the Mora Companion. That's 2.5 millimeters, and it's true, this is slicier. If you're doing finer work like creating feather sticks, this will get you much thinner and easier curls than this. But one thing to think about for blade stock is also thickness behind the edge when it comes to how slicey it can go. Personally, I've got no problem with this thickness of over 3 millimeters with the Scandi grind. The weight is about the same. I would say maybe the Ember is just slightly heavier. I don't have the specs right here, but just in hand, I would say it's negligible. But this might be just slightly heavier. I would say this, the handle for this is much thicker throughout. And personally for me, I have small to medium hands. I do find it's a bit big or blocky. And I feel it can turn within my hand as well, because I don't get that great purchase, because while there is a bit of a swell here, it's not very pronounced. Now compare that with the Garberg. You can see the thickness at the thickest point is about the same as the Ember, but it's much thinner at the top and bottom, so you can really get a good purchase, and then the center part just swells and fills up your palm, and I find I get a better grip with the Garberg personally than the Ember. So if you have small hands, that might be a point of consideration. The other thing, of course, is the sheath, which I showed earlier. This comes with a leather sheath, this comes with the polymer sheath, and then there's the price difference. So this is about, I would say, $58 if you just get the basic package with this plastic sheath. And for this particular Joker Ember, with these curly birch handle scales, I believe it's over $100 with the leather sheath. So it's about 60% the cost of this. But if you do upgrade and make a custom Kydex sheath like I did, then the cost is about the same, closer, still slightly cheaper, but it's about the same. So if you're just getting them as they are, you might find that the Garberg is more affordable for what you get, since they're so similar. But if you like that really nice wood look, and with this curly birch handles, I did soak it in linseed oil. I probably repeated about 3 times over a month to really get that all soaked in. And if you like the look of a leather sheath, then I can see you gravitating towards the knife. Now I should talk about the blade steel. Both blades are made from 14C28N. This is a stainless steel, very tough, but edge retention is fair. It's better than 1095 carbon steel, but still, after use in the jungle, I did find that edge retention was lost. So I'll give you an example. So I haven't touched up this blade. Let's just get a bit of paper over here. And see, it doesn't really slice well. What I did do, I did test this as well, and I got the same results, but now I've touched it up. So all I did was to use a stone. In this case, this is the Morakniv DC4. I used this side, I passed it several times, then I stropped it up, less than 5 minutes, and I got it back to super slicey as it originally was. So while the edge retention is not great, you can sharpen this up really easily, and in the field as well if you have a small stone like that. And this leather pouch can serve as the strop as well. So I'm very sure the Garberg, being the same steel, will also have similar properties. So it is stainless steel, so it means good corrosion resistance, very tough for the steel, but edge retention is not good, but it sharpens up very well. So since they're exactly the same, so the properties are the same. So which do I think is the better knife? I think that's something you have to choose for yourself. To me, eventually it does boil down to the handle. And I already talked about the handle size, and this to me is more ergonomic for my hands. If you have larger hands, I would think you have no problem with either of these two knives. Then it's really up to your personal preference in terms of the look, or maybe price might be a factor. But overall, I think these are both great outdoor knives. They fit that bushcraft style knife if that's something you're going for. And I would recommend both knives, bearing in mind the points that I brought up earlier on. Or let me know which knife you prefer, and if you have either knife, which is your preference, and if you do not have either of these knives and intend to get one, which one will you get now? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.